The case of the day once cast a mysterious shadow over a tranquil and ancient city. In the winter of 2014, a puzzling corpse was discovered next to an overturned motorcycle on a steep slope. What initially seemed like a random accident turned darker 6 months later when another body was unexpectedly found in a deep cave. Could this be a coincidence? Or are the two deaths linked by a sinister conspiracy? Who is the mastermind behind these deadly events? Stay tuned until the end of this video as we uncover shocking secrets, heart-pounding twists, and the startling truth behind today's case. The body on the deserted road, traffic accident or murder plot? Baise City, located in the Guangxi Zhuang autonomous region of China, is a cultural city with nearly 1,000 years of history. Lingyun County, part of Baise, accounts for more than 90% of the mountainous terrain. The area is known for its beautiful but treacherous landscapes, making transportation particularly challenging. On December 31, 2014, the Lingyun County Police Office received a report from Chen Shuedong, a 48-year-old resident of Jiadu Town in Lingyun County. Chen reported that while collecting firewood in the mountains, he stumbled upon a man lying face down on a steep slope. Despite calling out and attempting to rouse the man, there was no response. The man showed no signs of life. Approximately 2 meters away from the body was a damaged, overturned motorcycle. After receiving the report, Lingyun County's criminal police dispatched an investigation team to examine the scene. The incident occurred in a remote rural area with steep and difficult terrain, particularly challenging for anyone unfamiliar with the region. Due to the unfavorable conditions, it took the investigative team about an hour to reach the site. Based on an initial description, the case appeared to be a traffic accident. Therefore, traffic police collaborated with criminal investigators to verify the situation. The site was located on a narrow concrete road surrounded by mountainous terrain, with a steep drop-off on one side. The body and motorcycle were found on a slope, just short of falling into a deep ravine. A preliminary inspection revealed that the victim was a middle-aged man, approximately 1.7 meters tall, with an average build. However, no mobile phone or identification documents were found in his clothing or at the scene. A short distance away, on the concrete road, technicians discovered some dried blood droplets. Further down the slope, about 15 meters away, flattened grass and vegetation indicated a long skid trail. The motorcycle had been stopped by a large tree, preventing it and the body from plunging into the gorge. The cause of death remained uncertain. Pending a forensic examination, the motorcycle's brakes showed no signs of failure, and there were no apparent obstructions on the road. Based on observations at the scene, police initially ruled out the possibility of the victim accidentally falling due to a random traffic mishap. Instead, two main hypotheses were proposed. First, the victim might have collided with another vehicle, and the other driver fled in panic after realizing the victim had died. Second, someone deliberately orchestrated the traffic accident to murder the victim. To determine the exact cause, forensic expert Wu Tianzhao and his team transported the body to the morgue for a detailed examination. Meanwhile, the traffic police took the motorcycle to their station for further analysis and investigation. Traces at the scene and the victim's identity. While examining the scene, police found several scratches and heavy dents on the left side of the motorcycle, indicating a strong collision. Notably, on the motorcycle's clutch, they discovered traces of green paint. This paint was not part of the motorcycle's original coating and appeared to have been transferred recently. Based on experience from previous cases, the police suspected the green paint might have come from an agricultural vehicle. In the mountainous areas of Lingyun County, such vehicles are commonly used, making it challenging to identify the specific vehicle involved solely from this trace. Meanwhile, forensic expert Dr. Wu Tianzhao provided some crucial insights. based on the degree of rigor mortis. The victim's time of death was estimated to be 11 to 16 hours prior. The fatal injury was located on the victim's head, caused by a hard object striking with great force, resulting in a traumatic brain injury. Given the position and severity of the wound, the victim likely died instantly. Although no personal belongings were found at the scene, police identified the victim through the motorcycle's license plate. The motorcycle was registered to Yang Changhe, a 53-year-old man from Dubing Village, Jiadu Town, Lingyun County. Cross-referencing records and photographs confirmed that the victim was indeed Yang Changhe. The police immediately visited the victim's family to gather more information. According to relatives, on December 30th, one day before the incident, Mr. Changhe had ridden his motorcycle to visit relatives in the county center to attend a party. However, he did not return home that evening. Faint clues, a case fading into obscurity. The victim's family consisted of his 75-year-old mother and 3 adult children, 2 sons and a daughter, who worked in Guangdong province and only returned home for holidays or special occasions. Mr. Changhe and his wife had been divorced for a long time, and before his death, he lived with his elderly mother. She did not use a mobile phone and had no way to contact him, so when he failed to return, she could only wait for news. The police contacted the relatives who had hosted the party to gather details. They confirmed that Mr. Changhe had consumed alcohol during the gathering but was not intoxicated to the point of losing control. Before leaving, he assured everyone that he was fine and could drive home on his own. The site where the body and motorcycle were found was along a mountain road consistent with the route back to Dubing Village. Drinking alcohol before driving increased the risk of an accident, but in this case, the police ruled out the possibility of a random accident. The critical clue supporting this theory was the traces of green paint on the motorcycle, which suggested a collision with another vehicle, most likely an agricultural vehicle. This ruled out the possibility of a self-inflicted accident and clarified that an external factor was involved in the incident. Determining the nature of the case involving Yang Changhe was far from simple. The authorities decided to use the green paint traces as a lead to search for the suspect agricultural vehicle. Investigation teams were deployed not only in Jiadu Town, but also to neighboring towns. Simultaneously, police posted reward notices throughout Lingyun County, urging residents to assist in identifying an agricultural vehicle with similar green paint. However, given the prevalence of such vehicles in the area, searching for one based on a general description proved incredibly challenging. Since the incident, the police have yet to find any useful leads. The initial traces at the scene have also gradually disappeared as vegetation grew over the area. This peculiar accident has slowly faded from memory among the locals. The second strange incident. No one could have anticipated that just 6 months later, on May 31st, 2015, an even more bizarre case would occur in a neighboring town, shattering the tranquility of Lingyun County. This time, the unidentified body of a man was discovered in a cave located next to a village road. The entrance to the cave was only about 1.5 meters in diameter, but the cave's depth exceeded 9 meters. Making access and investigation highly challenging. The police had to call on the fire department and specialized equipment to extract the body without disturbing its condition. This process took nearly 2 hours and drew the attention of a large number of local residents. After a preliminary autopsy conducted by a forensic expert, the victim was identified as a middle-aged man with no physical disabilities. He was determined to have died 7 to 10 days before being discovered. However, due to the decomposition process, the victim's face was severely disfigured, and his identity could not be immediately confirmed. Initially, many locals speculated that the victim might have accidentally fallen into the cave and died. However, based on evidence collected at the scene, the forensic expert ruled out this possibility. One notable detail was the peculiar posture of the body. The victim's legs were bent, his arms pressed against his torso, and his left hand slightly raised into the air. The forensic expert concluded that this posture resulted from the rigor mortis process. If the victim had accidentally fallen into the cave or been pushed, their limbs would have been lying flat on the ground. From this, experts inferred that the cave was merely a site for disposing of the body, while the actual crime scene might be located elsewhere. This also meant that the case was not an accident but a homicide. Two strange incidents within half a year in Lingyun County raised concerns about hidden dangers in a region once renowned for its peacefulness. The authorities continued to expand their investigation to uncover the truth behind these cases. The identity of the second victim, revealing the first suspect. Through a detailed examination, forensic experts discovered that the victim had multiple fractures in the skull, neck, and legs. However, the tissue beneath the skin at these fracture sites showed no signs of bleeding, indicating that these injuries occurred post-mortem. Another crucial clue was a deep mark on the victim's neck, resembling signs of strangulation. Forensic experts made a preliminary assessment that the victim's cause of death was mechanical asphyxia, specifically strangulation. The police concluded that this case was far from simple. The area near the cave where the body was found was uninhabited, typically used only as a transit route. The lack of witnesses or direct leads posed significant challenges to the investigation. The immediate priority was to identify the victim and analyze their social connections to uncover the motive and sequence of events. Police formed multiple teams to visit surrounding villages and towns to gather information. On the second day of the investigation, one team made a breakthrough in Masian village, Jiadu town. A woman named Mrs. Chun reported that her son, Huang Yu-ing, 45 years old, had been missing for 9 days. She was deeply worried and had no idea of his whereabouts. According to Mrs. Chun, Huang Yu-ing was an unmarried farmer who lived with her. On May 22nd, a man named Zhuang visited their home, after which Yu-ing left with him in his vehicle. Since then, he had not contacted his family. Mrs. Chen explained that she lived alone, did not use a mobile phone, and did not know her son's phone number. When Yu-ing failed to return, she asked neighbors for help, but no one had any information. To confirm whether the unidentified male body was Huang Yu-ing, police collected a blood sample from Mrs. Chun for DNA analysis. The results quickly confirmed that the victim found in the cave was indeed Huang Yu-ing, who had been missing since May 22nd. Upon hearing the news, Mrs. Chun broke down in tears, overwhelmed with grief. She shared that although her son was impulsive and not well liked by some people in the area, she never imagined that he could have been involved in a conflict serious enough to result in such a tragic murder. The only lead the police had was the middle-aged man named Zhuang, the person who picked up Huang Yu-ing on May 22nd. Although it could not yet be confirmed whether Zhuang was directly involved in the victim's death, he was likely to possess critical information to clarify the case. Based on this reasoning, the police swiftly launched an investigation to gather detailed information about Zhuang, including his address and personal connections. A surprising twist: 4 confessions and contradictory testimonies. While the Lingyun County police were still executing their investigation plan into the death of Huang Yu-ing, an unexpected event unfolded at the criminal police station. For adults, 2 men and 2 women simultaneously appeared at the police station to confess to the crime. What they said next astonished the investigators. During prior investigations, the police learned that Huang Yu-ing had a habit of drinking alcohol, which seemed to be an integral part of his life. In his free time, he often visited his neighbors, Qin Chengbai and his wife, Zhang Finming, to drink. The couple lived comfortably thanks to their successful aluminum alloy business. Despite Huang Yu-ing's modest financial status, the couple treated him like family. However, one day after the police interviewed Mrs. Chen, Huang Yu-ing's mother, Qin Changbai and Zhang Fenming unexpectedly showed up at the station to confess to murdering Huang Yuing. Accompanying them were Zhu Yang, the man who had taken Huang Yuing on his motorcycle on May 22nd, and Zhu Yang's girlfriend, Huang Yin. All four were quickly detained for in-depth questioning. During the interrogations, all four confessed to being involved in Huang Yuing's murder. When asked why they killed him, Qin Changbai claimed that his wife, Zhang Fenming, had been sexually assaulted by Huang Yuing 3 times. As a devoted husband, he could not forgive such actions and decided to act. Qin admitted that he knew killing was illegal, but his anger and resentment drove him beyond self-control. Zhang Fenming supported this narrative. She stated that she had been humiliated multiple times by Huang Yuing, causing deep emotional pain, and she could no longer endure it. This was why she agreed to the plan to kill him. Zhu Yang, Qin Changbai's half-brother, also gave a similar testimony. He claimed that he participated because he could not ignore Huang Yuing's alleged misconduct toward his sister-in-law. However, Huang Yin, Zhu Yang's girlfriend, provided a completely different account. She insisted that she had never heard of Huang Yuing assaulting or abusing Zhang Fenming, contrary to the statements of the other 3. The inconsistencies in the 4 testimonies raised doubts among the police about the truthfulness of their story. If Huang Yan's account was accurate, what was the real reason behind Huang Yuing's death? Could the other 3 suspects be hiding a different secret or fabricating a story to justify their actions? It was highly unusual for 4 suspects to come forward simultaneously and confess to a crime, while all admitted to participating in the murder. The true motive and events leading up to the crime remained unclear and suspicious. The police realized they could not rely solely on the suspect's statements to reach a conclusion. They continued to analyze the testimonies, compare them with evidence collected at the scene, and employ other investigative measures. The mystery behind Huang Yuing's death was far from resolved. The truth was beginning to emerge, but layers of contradictions and unanswered questions shrouded the case in a dense fog. Were the suspects' confessions genuine? If not, what was the true motive behind the crime? The answers remained elusive. The victim's complicated life and the connection between 2 cases. During the investigation, to better understand the motives of the 4 suspects in Huang Yuing's case, the Lingyun County Police expanded their probe into the victim's social relationships. This led to a critical clue from a neighbor of Huang Yuing named Wang Dekai, who owned one of the largest grocery stores in the area. According to Wang Dekai, Huang Yuing was notorious as a heavy drinker. Kai noted that every 1 or 2 days, Huang would visit his store to buy alcohol, often on credit. However, about 6 months ago, Huang's habits changed significantly. He no longer bought on credit. Instead, he paid cash every time, sometimes even tipping Kai without taking the change. This sudden change puzzled Kai, as he knew Huang to be lazy, working only a few days a month and spending most of his time drinking. So, where had this newfound wealth come from? Additionally, Kai recalled a shocking revelation from Huang during one of his drunken episodes. Huang claimed that Yang Changhe, the man from the neighboring town who had died in the mysterious incident 6 months earlier, was murdered by none other than Huang's neighbors, Qin Changbai and his wife, Zhang Fenming. However, since Huang was often known to exaggerate and embellish stories, especially when drunk, Kai dismissed the claim as nonsense. It was only after Huang's death, when the police questioned him, that Kai remembered this detail and related it to the authorities. Hearing Kai's testimony, the police were surprised and immediately conducted a search of Qin Changbai's home. There, they discovered a green-painted agricultural vehicle, a detail that instantly reminded investigators of the Yang Changhe case from 6 months earlier. In the case of Yang Changhe, forensic evidence had revealed traces of green paint on the victim's motorcycle, believed to have come from an agricultural vehicle. The case had raised many suspicions because the evidence at the scene did not align with a random accident. The match between the paint on Qin Changbai's agricultural vehicle and the paint found on Yang Changhe's motorcycle prompted investigators to suspect a connection between the two cases. Could this agricultural vehicle be linked to the deaths of both victims? If so, what were the true motives behind these crimes? To verify the connection between the two cases, forensic technicians extracted paint samples from Qin Changbai's agricultural vehicle and sent them to a specialized lab for analysis. The results confirmed that the paint composition matched the samples found on Yang Changhe's motorcycle. This breakthrough provided a new direction for the investigation. The police concluded that the likelihood of a connection between the two cases was very high. The inconsistencies in the four suspects' testimonies further suggested hidden motives behind the crimes, particularly in Huang Yuying's case. Using the paint analysis results as evidence, the police confronted Qin Changbai and Zhang Fenming during their next interrogation. Faced with irrefutable evidence, both suspects broke down and ultimately confessed to their involvement in the death of Yang Changhe. The plan to conceal a crime and the 3 assaults on a friend's wife. According to the confessions of Qin Changbai and Zhang Fenming, on December 30th, 2014, they drove their agricultural vehicle to the county center to transport cement for repairs to their store. That day, they hired Huang Yuying to help load and unload the cement. All 3 rode together in the vehicle, and everything seemed normal until they reached a winding road in Jiadu town. Qin Changbai noticed a motorcycle approaching from the opposite direction. Suspecting that the rider was intoxicated, he slowed down and moved to the right to avoid a collision. However, the unexpected happened. The motorcycle crashed directly into their agricultural vehicle. After the violent collision, the motorcycle tumbled down the slope, and its rider, Yang Changhe, was thrown off. When they checked the scene, Qin Changbai and Zhang Fenming found Yang Changhe lying motionless at the bottom of the slope, showing no signs of life. The victim's motorcycle had been stopped by a large tree, preventing it from falling into the deeper ravine. Panicked by the situation, the couple feared criminal prosecution. In their confusion, Huang Yuying, who was present at the scene, urged them to leave immediately to avoid being discovered. He also assured them that he would keep the incident a secret. To show their gratitude to Huang Yuying, the couple agreed to pay him a monthly sum for alcohol and cigarettes. All 3 entered into a silent agreement to cover up Yang Changhe's death. However, just 3 days after the accident, Huang Yuying began to make the couple uneasy. He demanded they give him 12,000 yuan. Although he framed it as a loan, the couple knew it was blackmail. The situation escalated when the Lingyun County police launched an investigation into Yang Changhe's traffic accident and announced a reward of 20,000 yuan for information. The substantial reward tempted Huang Yuying, and he began using threatening language with the couple, warning them to be sensible. At the time, Qin Changbai and Zhang Fenming frequently alternated driving their agricultural vehicle to deliver goods in Jiadu town. Whenever Fenming drove alone, Huang Yuying often insisted on accompanying her. Fenming, fearful that he might reveal the secret about Yang Changhe's death, dared not refuse. Initially, allowing him to accompany her caused no issues, but the situation quickly worsened. During 3 separate trips, Huang Yuying threatened Fenming on the road, coercing her into sexual acts. He warned that if she resisted, he would expose everything to the police. Deeply fearful of the secret coming to light and desperate to protect her family, Fenming endured the abuse to keep her husband and their life together intact. After enduring 4 months of humiliation, Fenming could no longer bear the torment. One day, she tearfully confessed everything to her husband. She revealed that Huang Yuying had assaulted her 3 times and continuously threatened her if she refused to comply. Hearing his wife's account, Qin Changbai was overwhelmed with a mix of sorrow and rage. He felt guilty for failing to recognize his wife's suffering and allowing the situation to spiral out of control. Determined to protect his family and put an end to Huang Yuying's threats, Qin decided to kill him. The first failed poisoning attempt. The couple began brainstorming ways to eliminate Huang Yuing. Initially, they considered exploiting his drinking habit by making him drunk in an area filled with dry grass, then starting a fire. However, after some deliberation, they realized this plan was impractical as the fire could attract attention and lead to unintended consequences. One day, Fenming recalled a highly toxic plant called Gelsemium elegans, commonly found in the mountains, which could cause death if ingested. Armed with this information, the couple decided to grind the Gelsemium elegans leaves into a powder, mix it into alcohol, and offer it to Huang Yuing, confident that his addiction to alcohol would ensure he wouldn't refuse. While planning, Qin Changbai enlisted the help of Zhuang, his half-brother, to search for Gelsemium elegans. At the time, Zhu was staying with Qin and Fan Ming to help renovate their store and kitchen. During this period, drinking parties were frequent, and Huang Yuing was a regular attendee. Zhu began to find it odd that Huang visited the house so often and openly received money from the couple. His curiosity led him to confront them directly. Initially evasive, Qin and Fan Ming eventually disclosed the entire truth about their relationship with Huang Yuing. Qin even shared their plan to poison Huang. However, he admitted they hadn't been able to find Gelsemium elegans locally and asked Zhu to search for it elsewhere. Eager to assist, Zhu reached out to his girlfriend, Huang Yin, for help. Having grown up in the mountainous region of Dushan, Yin was familiar with Gelsemium elegans, as her parents had often warned her to avoid the plant due to its extreme toxicity. At Zhu's request, Huang Yin ventured into the mountains, found Gelsemium elegans, and delivered it to him. With the Gelsemium elegans leaves in hand, Qin and Fan Ming crushed them into a fine powder and mixed it into alcohol. Their initial plan was to invite Huang to drink as usual and discreetly offer him the poison liquor. However, Zhu noticed a flaw in this approach. If Huang died in their home while drinking, the police would immediately suspect them. Consequently, the group decided to revise their plan and wait for the perfect opportunity. That opportunity came on a stormy day when Huang visited Qin's house, this time demanding 18,000 yuan. His outrageous demand infuriated the couple. Although they outwardly smiled and agreed to his request, inwardly, they resolved to act that very day. The Fateful Night, unveiling the final truths. Qin Changbai called Zhuang, inviting him to join a gathering where they would take Huang Yuing to a restaurant in Lingyun County. The plan was to drink together and then pretend to withdraw money to give to Huang. As an alcohol addict, Huang immediately agreed. That afternoon, Zhuang arrived on his motorcycle to pick up Huang. Meanwhile, Qin Changbai and Zhang Fenming brought along the bottle of poisoned alcohol and drove their car to pick up Huang Yin. When they met at the village gate, Zhang Fenming was driving. Qin handed the poison bottle to Zhu, who then gave it to Huang. Each person carried a bottle of alcohol, but only Huang's bottle contained Gelsemium elegans. According to Qin's account, after taking a sip, Huang noticed a strange taste and spotted bits of leaves in the bottle. Jokingly, he asked if they were poisoning him. Unbeknownst to him, his jest was tragically accurate. After consuming the poisoned alcohol, Huang began experiencing severe discomfort, clutching his stomach and begging for help. However, the other four ignored his pleas, showing no intention of aiding him. As his condition worsened, Huang slipped into a weakened, unconscious state. Qin recounted that when Huang became motionless, he checked his pulse and found he was still alive. At that moment, Qin found a power cord in the car, previously used for electrical work during renovations. That night, the cord became a murder weapon. Qin used it to strangle Huang, ending his life. Forensic experts later concluded that Gelsemium elegans, also known as heartbreak grass, is highly toxic, especially its young shoots. Although its name suggests it breaks hearts, the plant actually contains gelamine, a neurotoxin that causes symptoms such as limb weakness, confusion, abdominal pain, and in severe cases, respiratory failure leading to death within 4 to 7 hours. In the interrogation room, Qin Chengbai and Zhang Fenming wept as they expressed regret and attempted to justify their actions. Qin stated he felt trapped and terrified by Huang's relentless blackmail and enraged over what he had done to his wife. Zhang Fenming described the abuse she suffered as a profound humiliation, one that drove her to believe Huang had to pay the price. Zhu Yang and Huang Yin also sought to explain their involvement. Zhu claimed he initially resisted participating, but was eventually persuaded by Qin's persistent requests for help. Huang Yin maintained that her role was limited to picking Gelsemium elegans, and that she had no knowledge of its intended use for murder. She stated that her reason for joining the group was her love and trust in her boyfriend. From the police's perspective, all 4 individuals demonstrated a blatant disregard for the law, choosing criminal paths over legal recourse. Qin and Fenming had numerous opportunities to resolve their problems through lawful means, but failed to do so. After the traffic accident that killed Yang Changhe, had they reported the incident to the authorities, their maximum penalty would likely have been 2 to 3 years in prison. They might even have been granted a suspended sentence if they compensated the victim's family and cooperated fully. Additionally, Yang Changhe's intoxicated state at the time of the accident could have been a mitigating factor. In the case of Huang's blackmail, they could have reported him to the police and charged him. If Fan Ming's claims about Huang's assaults were true, his actions would have been subject to serious legal consequences. Instead, the couple chose to delve deeper into criminal activity, dragging Zhu Yang and Huang Yin down with them. Ultimately, all 4 individuals embarked on a path of no return. The consequence of their actions was severe. All 4 faced legal penalties, with Qin Chengbai, the mastermind, likely receiving the harshest sentence. Meanwhile, Qin and Fan Ming's children were left to grow up without their parents, living in fear and loneliness. Mrs. Chen, Huang Yuying's nearly 80-year-old mother, was left to endure the unbearable loss of her son. Adding to her pain was the realization that the couple she once considered kind neighbors, who often shared food with her, had mercilessly taken her son's life. What do you think about the perpetrators and the victim in today's case? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on intriguing cases worldwide. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.